The world is full of amazing cities, each with its own unique culture and attractions. With so many great cities to choose from, it can be difficult to determine which ones are the best. Every year, the World's Best Cities report developed by Resonance Consultancy ranks the world's best cities based on a variety of factors including livability, innovation, desirable for locals, and more. The ranking is compiled using data from hundreds of sources and surveys to create an in-depth analysis of each city to determine its ranking. This year's list takes into account cities with populations of more than 1 million people. It identifies cities that are most desirable for locals, visitors, business people, and simply looking at livability or tourism appeal. This latest World's Best Cities ranking has identified the top 10 cities. These cities are not only highly rated in terms of livability, but also offer excellent infrastructure, quality education systems, ample job opportunities, top-notch healthcare systems, and more. Discover which cities rank as the world's best and why they deserve their spot on this list. Number 10. Amsterdam. The smallest city in our top 10 is Amsterdam, a little yet potent metropolis. Everyone who calls the captivating Dutch capital home will be held accountable in the future thanks to her administration's sensible care of a location, and its residents sometimes neglected in favor of the tourist dollar. The city ranks in the top 3 for income equality, and the top 5 for labor force participation, reflecting the residents' concern for others and willingness to put in the effort. Tours that highlight the city's exceptional livability and Dutch heritage, bringing visitors 22 million in 2019 to destinations like Amsterdam North, which is reachable via a free 5-minute boat from Central Station, the city's primary transportation hub, and away from the city center. With factories that once built cargo ships now housing creative kitchens, some of Europe's trendiest galleries, and ambitious digital startups keen to attract talent with a buzzy address, Noord has kind of evolved into a second downtown. A housing problem is on the horizon as a result of all of this. Therefore, Mayor Halsema and other city officials are attempting to head it off with the Havenstad Port City neighborhood, which will eventually house up to 70,000 dwellings and be envisioned as a metropolitan mixed-use region. Unsurprisingly, the area's established pillars of industry do not agree with the strategy. Number 9. Singapore. Place brand engineering at its most ambitious may be seen in Singapore's 50-year transformation from a politically insecure, resource-poor, and unskilled ex-colony to a talent and money-hungry shipping metropolis, the world's busiest and ultimately Asia's capital of wealth management. Due to Singapore's continued investment in talent acquisition, research, and corporate headquarters recruiting, its population will continue to be sustainably prosperous for many years to come. It is for this reason that the city-state, which is home to an expanding group of Global 500 corporations, continues to rank among the world's most successful cities. Singapore's expansion as a center for international research and development has already received a $16 billion commitment from the government. The country's 2020 Research, Innovation and Enterprise Plan sought to imitate Israeli and Nordic innovation and R&D, most of which will support regional institutions. This emphasis on science, technology, and health aims to provide Singapore another front to match its power in the financial sector. It enhances the citizenry's human capital, which already ranks among the top 5 in our GDP per capita categorization. With the 10th anniversary additions to the city's gardens by the bay, beginning with the Active Garden, a new 2.5-acre purpose-built green space for people of all generations to connect with one another through physical, social, and educational activities, Singapore delivers it all post-pandemic, ranking number 4 for safety and within the top 25 for outdoors. This remarkable city sets itself apart from every other metropolitan center on the planet with its clear concern for its older population, and the fact that 80% of its residents reside in public housing. The Singapore Green Plan 2030 is aiming for 800-plus miles of bike lanes, and the recently reopened 9-mile rail corridor makes for a quick self-propelled break from the city and journey back in time. Number 8. Madrid. When the epidemic first started, Madrid was one of the capitals that was most severely affected. But the city has skillfully recovered, continuing a much-needed investment in its abundant but long-dormant infrastructure and public assets that is igniting the Spanish capital's tradition of city building like few other periods before. The city of Madrid is intensifying its efforts at modern reinvention that is centered on its residents. UNESCO added Madrid's Paseo del Prado Promenade and the Buen Retiro Pleasant Retreat Park to its World Heritage List 2 years ago. It is located in the city's center and covers 1.3 square miles. Paseo del Prado, which also features a pedestrian promenade, runs parallel to it, linking the Thyssen-Bornemisza National Museum and the Reina Sofia Art Center to the center of the country's art scene, which is flanked by the Prado Museum. Madrid's stunning efforts to address pollution and climate change through a 47-mile urban forest network with approximately 500,000 new trees that would reuse vacant lots in between roads and buildings and connect the city's existing forest masses may be the biggest news. When finished, this green wall is expected to reduce heat from urban human activity and absorb 175,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually. The Madrid Nouveau Norte project, currently Europe's largest urban redevelopment initiative, will transform the industrial wasteland of railroad lands and brownfields north of the city into social housing, a transit hub, and new office spaces with a focus on meeting unsustainable development goals. The project also invests in social housing and equitable development. That is encouraging given its present middle-of-the-pack income equality score. Number 7. Rome. Few cities provide the opportunity to stroll through Western history like Rome. Include a secure, easily accessible modern city with thousands of time-traveling portals. It is clear why Rome made it into the best cities top 10 list once more this year, given that sites and landmarks is among the top 5 worldwide. Rome is the most populous city in the country, and the third most populous city in the European Union. The metropolitan city of Rome, with over 4 million inhabitants, is the most populous metropolitan city in Italy. Its metropolitan area is the third most populous in Italy. Rome is located in the central western part of the Italian peninsula, in Lazio, on the banks of the Tiber. With 8.6 million visitors in 2019, Rome ranked as the third most visited city in the European Union and the most popular travel destination in Italy. It was also the 14th most visited city overall. UNESCO has designated its historic center as a World Heritage Site. The International Fund for Agricultural Development, the World Food Programme, and the Food and Agriculture Organization all have their headquarters in Rome, which served as the host city for the 1960 Summer Olympics. Additionally, the city serves as the headquarters for numerous multinational corporations, including Eni, Enel, TIM, Leonardo, and banks like BNL, as well as the Secretariat of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Union for the Mediterranean. The business sector of Rome is home to several businesses, including the opulent fashion firm Fendi, which has its headquarters at the Palazzo della Civiltà Italiana. Rome has become a significant hub for fashion and design because to the presence of well-known worldwide businesses, and the Cinecittà studios have served as the backdrop for several Academy Award-winning films. Number 6. Barcelona. With its 3 miles of city-bound beaches, iconic parks, remarkable architecture, and vibrant neighborhoods that run at their own pace, artistic, elegant, and bohemian, Barcelona is a near-perfect European city. Not surprisingly, it is ranked 6th in our category that evaluates the artificial and natural ecosystems of the city. And it's no wonder why the city had to deal with 12 million tourists every year, almost twice the population of the entire region. In response, Barcelona implemented some of the harshest vacation rental regulations in the world in an effort to rein in the effects of runaway tourism, such as real estate developers who buy up apartments solely to put them up for rent on platforms like Airbnb, depleting an already scarce supply. The pandemic ultimately solved the tourism problem, but not without terrible consequences. Local sources predict that over 40% of the closed bars and restaurants may never reopen as a result of infection flare-ups that cause tourist hotspots like France to ban all citizen travel to the Barcelona region for the majority of last year. This has been disastrous for a city that currently holds the third best nightlife rating worldwide. Thankfully, tourism is starting to pick up speed after 2021 saw 3 times as many tourists as in 2020. If early data from 2022 are any indication, this trend will continue. As part of the mayor's Superblock project, the city has also advanced with stringent car traffic restrictions, substituting playgrounds and public seats for parking and highways. The city's top 10 outdoor status should increase following its restoration. Getting to the city's number 10 ranked sites and landmarks by bike or foot will also allow tourists to discover more of its street The city's famed La Rambla Avenue is also undergoing major renovations to make it more pedestrian with fewer automobiles, while boosting the area's architectural and cultural legacy, culminating with the reopening of the area's beautiful 17th-century theater principal in 2024. Number 5. Dubai. Dubai is a city of superlatives. You can take an elevator to the top of the world's tallest skyscraper for a bird's-eye view, and you can wager on horses at the world's wealthiest horse race. And, as of recently, plunge into the world's deepest swimming pool for diving, according to Guinness World Records. All of this takes place in one of the world's safest cities. Dubai's never-before-seen experiences are not by chance. The city transformed itself yet again in the 2010 seconds, transitioning from a sterile playground for a few ultra-rich Emiratis to a worldwide tourism and business destination. This has helped to attract global talent, and the city now ranks number 27 in the world for educational attainment while having top 10 income equality. The world's most visited mall, boosting Dubai to number 28 in the shopping category. The Dubai Mall, like the city itself, is more of an attempt to capture and repackage every human experience for consumption. The Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest structure, is located here, as is one of the world's largest aquarium tanks. The Aura Skypool, of course, is the world's first and tallest 360-degree infinity pool. Also, there are a dozen other large-scale projects that are being implemented in the future. Number 4. Tokyo. Despite earthquakes, tsunami, and typhoons, Tokyo has long been regarded as one of the world's safest cities. Despite a fall during last year's race to host the 2021 Summer Olympic Games, the city remains extremely safe, placing fourth in our safety classification. Despite the pandemic's derailment of Japan's plans, or possibly because of them, the Japanese government remains resolute, maintaining its objective of 60 million tourists and $136 billion in tourism earnings by 2030. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. The country has seen record tourism for 7 consecutive years and can now welcome even more tourists to Tokyo, thanks to the construction of the international terminal at Haneda, the city's main airport, which is rated number 65 in the world. The freshly refurbished Miyashita Park features 90 boutique stores and restaurants, as well as a new hotel with a view of the iconic Shibuya neighborhood, volleyball courts, and a 2.5-acre skate park. The city opened the world's first Netflix outlet last year. 2 Stranger Things-themed pop-up stores opened earlier this year, adding to the enjoyment. Tokyo has the second most restaurants of city, and is expanding far beyond its globally acclaimed culinary heritage. The city has around 100,000 eateries, so visitors and inhabitants alike will never be able to sample even a handful of them. There are, however, plenty of places to stay if you so choose. Number 3. New York. New York, sometimes known as New York City, is the most populous city in the United States, with a population of over 20 million in 2022 spread across 300 square miles. New York metropolis is also the most densely populated large city in the United States and is more than twice as populous as second-place Los Angeles. New York is one of the most populated megacities in the world, with approximately 58 million people living within 250 miles of the city. New York City is a worldwide cultural, financial, entertainment, and media hub having a large impact on business, health, research, technology, education, politics, tourism, dining, art, fashion, and sports. New York, home to the United Nations headquarters, is an important hub for international diplomacy, a well-established safe haven for global investors, and is frequently referred to as the world's capital. New York City, located on harbors and stretching into the Atlantic Ocean, is divided into 5 boroughs, each of which is coextensive with a county of the state of New York. The city and its surrounding metropolitan region serve as the primary entry point for legal immigrants to the United States. New York is the most linguistically varied metropolis in the world, with 200 languages spoken. New York City has the world's highest foreign-born population, with over 3.2 million inhabitants born outside the United States. The New York metropolitan region is projected to have a gross metropolitan product of more than $2.1 trillion, placing it top in the world. The New York metropolitan region would have the world's 8th largest GDP if it were a sovereign state. New York has the most billionaires and millionaires of any city on the planet. Number 2. Paris. Paris is France's capital and most populous city, with a population of more than 12 inhabitants in an area of more than 105 square kilometers, making it the world's 30th most densely inhabited city. Paris has been one of the world's leading financial, diplomatic, fashion, gastronomic, and scientific centers since the 17th century. The Paris region had the highest GDP in Europe at 739 billion euros. According to the Economist Intelligence Unit Worldwide Cost of Living Survey, Paris has the 9th highest cost of living in the world in 2023. Paris is a significant railway, highway, and air transport center, with 2 international airports, Charles de Gaulle Airport, Europe's second busiest, and Orly Airport. The Louvre got 2.8 million visitors in 2021, making it the most visited museum in the world. The Pompidou Center Musée National d'Art Moderne, as well as the Musée Rodin and Musée Picasso, house Europe's biggest collection of modern and contemporary art. The city center's historical quarter along the Seine has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Paris is home to many international and European organizations, including UNESCO, as well as the OECD Development Center, the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, the International Energy Agency, the International Federation for Human Rights, and the European Space Agency. Number 1. London. London has been at the top of the list for 7 years running, and for good reason. London continues to hold the top position despite recent events that have been turbulent, including Brexit, the effects of COVID, the passing of the Queen, and the abrupt resignations of 2 prime ministers. The 11 million person metropolis is known for its incredible eateries, status as the hashtag capital of the world on social media, and plenty of opulent homes that draw the super wealthy. London received exceptionally high marks for its variety and immigration rate, confirming its status as a multicultural melting pot. London boasts one of the greatest culinary scenes in the world, according to anybody who has visited, in part due to the city's variety. London is renowned for being pricey. However, recent local and international events have devalued the pound, making it less expensive to go abroad than in previous years. The city has improved its ties to the US as well. London will be JetBlue's first stop in Europe in the summer of 2022. Who would have thought that London could keep its top spot? Clearly, it's a city with staying power, and that's something to be proud of. Which city do you think deserves to be in the top 10 ranking? Write in the comments below the video. Thank you for watching.